always create these videos so that it helps young finance professionals like you to start your FP&A journey. So the challenge people outside FP&A role face is like, how do they get into FP&A without having experience? Because the recruiter is asking for experience, and people who are just starting out, they don't have any experience in FP&A.
Sure. So there are a few different ways that I recommend carving out your future. And as I had shared with my professional background, I did not start out in FP&A. It was somewhat of a natural progression, but it was also an intentional one. So wherever you happen to be, if you are in a traditional accounting role and you have a desire to move in the direction of FP&A, one of the first goals that you should have is to get relevant experience. Well, how do you get relevant experience? The analogy I often use is if you think about a circle, and if this is the core of your job, if you take a look on the fringes over here, what you're likely to see is that there's going to be some kinds or some types of experiences that you have that are not exactly part of the core. They're related to it, but they also seemingly are related to FP&A duties. And so, for example, if you see some kind of a process issue in your company, you might say, I want to take it upon myself to service that process issue. While it's going to help in the core, it's not exactly in the core, it's on the fringes. And when I'm in that process, I'm going to spend time figuring out how that process can better help with certain decision making, or data aggregation, or analysis, or future planning. And you entrench yourself deeper into individual projects that have the image, or at least a little bit of a reflection of the type of work you may want to be doing. And in addition, you identify people within your organization who are doing the type of work that you want to do. And it's not just a networking with them, it's a saying, this is what I'm doing at my core. This is how I can help you in your project, in your part of the business. Could I spend one day a week doing it, one day a month doing it? Could I shadow some of what you're doing? Can I help you? Whatever it may be, entrench yourself on the fringes of your core work with the people who can help pull you into their zone of work and expertise. But some of you may say, well, I don't have that opportunity. How could I do that if it doesn't exist? Create it. If you see some kind of a deficiency that doesn't yet exist in your organization, or some kind of a piece of pain or a pain point that exists in your organization or in some other division of your company, say, I would like to address this problem. I know nobody's doing it, but Asif, this is why I'm the right person to serve this kind of a problem. And you create a green field in front of you, and you say, this is what the scope of work looks like. I need somebody like Asif on my team. It's going to take me about 2.5 months to do this. Asha, could I have the green light to be able to do this? And ideally, somebody like Asha says yes. So you identify on the fringes work that does exist. If it doesn't, create it on your own. If you can't create it on your own within your organization, create it outside of your company. Find some other organization, either a for-profit or a not-for-profit, a friend's business, a family member's business, a friend of a friend of a friend's business, and you identify what you can possibly do there on nights, on weekends, or in your spare time. There's an organization that I've worked with for quite a long time in Chicago. It's not based here, but it's a not-for-profit that connects experts and consultants with not-for-profits who need their talent. And so based upon, if you have a background in accounting, there may be some humanitarian organization that needs somebody with an accounting background, who needs somebody with a finance background. And you spend a month or 2 or 3 giving your services away for free or inexpensive. And at the end of that time, they say, I cannot believe the value that I got from Asif. It's amazing that I got this either for inexpensive or for free. Asif, I'd like to connect you with people who could use you. So again, you either find it, you create it within your organization, or you find it and create it somewhere else. And then finally, perhaps the most important, which is how Asif and I got connected, is you network. You find people who you can help. You find people who can help you, and you make the pieces of the pie bigger by expanding the entire pie. How can I help Asif? How can I help Asif? How can he help me? There's nothing that I want from him. There's nothing he wants from me. We're here to help each other. And the same thing goes for you. How can you help with your expertise and your experience for other people, and ultimately get a dividend of, Asif, I'd like to introduce you to somebody who could use you.
Absolutely. I can share some examples from my experience like this. So while I was working with City, we had a controllership department and we had FP&A. People in the controllership department, like who are responsible for accounting and closing the book, there were people who demonstrated skills, maybe communication, maybe speaking in public, collaborating with different departments, like working on a project with FP&A and say a different business department. Those were the people who got opportunities when there was an opening in FP&A. So that is something I would say is very underrated. Like in your present experience, find opportunities where you can do more than your current role in accounting or whatever the finance role you are in. Maybe it's payroll, maybe it's accounts payable, maybe it's accounts receivable. Find out ways where you can be visible in the company, demonstrate the skills that are required.
Yeah, what I would also suggest is, if you take out your resume and if you were to create it from scratch, but without any of your skills and experience, so say the ideal resume for you, positioned for a job that you're looking for, what are the bullet points that would go on there? As Asif has just mentioned, communication skills, experience in payroll, work in this industry, work of X number of years with Y types of people. So create what your ideal resume looks like, then put it next to your current resume and say, where are the gaps? What is it that I need to be doing in my current role, in my future role in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, that I need to get on this resume to be able to position me for this next position that I want?
Absolutely. Another example that comes to my mind, this was not with me, but with a friend of mine. He was into accounting and his company was into the level 2 where they did not have a FP&A department, but they wanted to set up an FP&A department. So because he demonstrated all those skills and demonstrated the willingness and the ability to learn, going beyond his resume and creating an opportunity. And when there was a time when they wanted to set up an FP&A department, like needed just 2 people, he was the one who got that opportunity.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily in big companies, it can be even in small companies. And as Carl mentioned, it can be outside your company as well. Non-profits, working with a small business that you can work on weekends. It can be any opportunity that you get.
I have done pro bono or complimentary services for at least a half dozen organizations. I did not get paid $1. I did it because it aligns with my values, because I believe it's important to give back to the community. I also believed in the values and mission of the organizations I worked with. And when I was done with most of those projects, many of them would say, how can I introduce you to somebody else? I'd like to introduce you, or I'd like to invite you to our annual gala, and I would like for you to sit at the CEO's table. So again, just because you're not getting paid or you're not getting paid much doesn't mean that it's not a good use of your time and your effort.
Yeah, and that's human nature, right? If you willingly give something first, more often than not, it comes back to you in some form or the other. May not be very immediately, but but definitely in the long term.
Absolutely.
Please do like this video and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. If you are looking to start your career into FP&A, then be sure to subscribe this channel and keep tuning in for more videos like these.